It's not, they didn't log on yet.
It's not live yet.
Oh, okay. So no one has it yet then?
No.
Okay.
You're sharing the meeting, so you better...
Troublemaker.
All right, he's on his way in. He'll be here in a couple minutes.
Sure.
See if you can open his name.
Yeah, he's on his way.
I used to go to Shop House. What?
Chairman is in New York, stuck. The vice chair is on his way.
Alex, give me the full map from, Bridgeport Avenue to 108. And we'll start out with that.
Everybody?
Hi there.
Hey, Ken, good to meet you.
Kelly? Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you? I'm the chairman. So, Ginny, you know what, I gotta go get my other glasses. I'll have them in the car. Okay. Excuse me 1 second, I'm looking.
No, go right ahead.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Kenny. So, nice to meet you. And the next one will go to...
Thanks, Jake.
You're welcome.
Let me see.
Mark Podomsky.
Joined the meeting.
Was there an agenda for, no, listen, I got this one. Was there one on the inland wetlands?
No, it's combined.
They look the same.
Yeah, it says it.
Okay, no, I know that, but I didn't know if there was a different version.
Oh, there's one that's combined, I don't know, which is yours?
This is mine combined.
No, I just got inland wetlands,
Oh, okay.
but it's the same thing.
I know. Yeah,
Ken, whenever you guys are ready, just let me know.
yeah. I have, gonna have you call the roll for your commission.
I haven't done anything yet. Charlie?
I know. I got it.
So, she has to call planning and zoning for whatever you gotta call. The, so what, okay. Okay.
You all set?
Yeah.
You know that map that I brought down on the board? The one with the... Oh, down there. That's Alex. Right, the one that I brought down. Thank you.
They may be on.
You ready? Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Virginia Harger. I'm chairperson of the Shelton Planning and Zoning Commission. Today is Wednesday, April 7th, and the special joint meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Inland Wetlands Commission is being conducted entirely via Zoom, is hereby called to order. The protocol for this afternoon's meeting was previously reviewed by Corporation Counsel, who indicated to me it is compliant with the executive orders issued by the governor and fair for those attending in person or watching from a remote location. Mr. Wilson, do you want to call the inland wetlands
I will.
to order?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Charles Wilson. I'm Vice Chairman of the Inland Wetlands Commission. Our members here this evening are myself, Charles Wilson Jr., Robert Dunford, Ken Nappy, Michelle Kalowski, our Chairman, Gary Zarnowski, he's absent, stuck in traffic, I believe, Jack Gonsalves, absent, and Joseph Riley, absent.
Okay, thank you. Would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll do a roll call of the zoning commission. Please verbally indicate that you are participating. Commissioner Kelly?
Present.
Commissioner Parkins?
Present.
Commissioner Radomski?
Here.
Commissioner Motto? Here. Commissioner Tiki?
Present.
Alternate Commissioner Laskos?
Present.
Alternate Commissioner Usel?
Present.
Myself, Commissioner Harger. Also from staff, Mr. Rossetti, our administrator. Mr. O'Neill, our assistant administrator and CEO. Mr. Nappy, our downtown projects coordinator.
Sure.
Mr. Panico, our consultant.
I'm here. Excuse me.
Thank you. Our recording secretary, Ms. Vernazos.
Chairwoman, just a point, order, I don't know if it's just me, but we do not seem to have very good reception. You keep breaking out. I don't know if it's just me on the phone or if others are experiencing the same issue.
Okay, thank you for that, Ms. Perkins. A couple points before continuing with this afternoon's agenda. This is the Commission's 32nd meeting being done via live streaming process. Mr. Rossetti will act as the Zoom meeting host, while members of both commissions will be able to make comments throughout the meeting. The chair asks that you please identify yourself and wait to be recognized by the chair before speaking to make sure we are not all speaking over each other and to make sure that the recording secretary is clear as to who is speaking. So we will begin with a presentation by our mayor. Mayor Loetti, would you like to take the podium?
Okay, thank you very much. The purpose of today's meeting is to discuss the continuation of Constitution Boulevard North. Many of you are familiar with Constitution Boulevard because you've been in town for so many years and you saw its evolution. Constitution Boulevard has been on the books, part of the economic development discussion for over 40, 45 years in this city. This is really the last link that prohibits the continuation of a north-south arterial road through the city. This is what's shown up on the big screen here. At the bottom is Route 8 and Bridgeport Avenue. And you see that we have charted a course for its continuation. It goes northerly and terminates at Route 108, Shelton Avenue, and intersects with Mills Rock Road. And so, I want to say a year ago, I came to the commission and I afforded you a drone flyover that we did of Constitution Boulevard from River Road right to 110 in White Hills area. And I did that because I thought it was pretty telling about how the development and the road has evolved over all this time. And also to give you some indication as to what the Moss property, which is the next leg, looks like from the air and how it interacts with residential neighborhoods in and throughout this section of town. Over the years, we have acquired, all the rights-of-way and property necessary for the road. The Moss property, which was purchased by the city, I want to say in 1996, 97, I'm not sure the year, but we bought it, through the FDIC. Prior to that, it was the very first planned development district that the city approved back in the mid-eighties. And it was a pretty intense development that obviously never came to conclusion or fruition, I should say, probably because of economic reasons. Alex, go to the last, the next one, that one, this picture here. So, you can see in the yellow, the T is the extension of Constitution Boulevard that goes from Bridgeport Avenue through property that the city is in the process of negotiating for, and it takes us to the Moss property. But it's not going to terminate there. We are in the process of trying to procure some funding through state and federal highway funds that may be available, particularly now with this new economic stimulus package that was just approved. And one of the regulations required that funding for a road cannot be dead-ended. It has to be brought to its conclusion. It has to be a through road. And quite honestly, that's music to my ears, because this road was an integral part of the traffic patterns that affected traffic from the White Hills and the Huntington area into downtown, to Route 8, to 110, north and south, and being able to move people effectively across the city. And so, all of the property rights for this road are in place, with the exception of the piece that you see here in yellow. So, we've gone out to design for this road, and the design has been completed. Actually, it's changed quite a bit from the very first attempt to design the road. It affected the first drawing. The first half of that road was over to the right, to the green area that you can see. That's why the city bought that, because we anticipated that we were going to be moving the road in that direction. But that had a greater wetlands impact than the path that we're taking now. And so, with that said, there's been a significant amount of interest for the light industrial development. Over the last 9 months, I've spent an awful lot of time dealing with a large company that wants to do a 275,000 square foot facility on this property. They want to move their corporate headquarters here. They're a manufacturer, and they have to do distribution from the product that they manufacture. So over the course of these months, there's also been significant users from Connecticut companies, companies from New York that are looking to relocate. Some of this is consolidation. So they have companies that have multiple locations that want to consolidate into one, and they want to be in Shelton for a lot of reasons. And so, Alex, let's go to the next slide. This is before you do that. This is all this stuff that you see in terms of building placements on the Moss property are preliminary. Everything is subject to change, and I just wanted to quantify that, because sometimes when people see something, they think that it's cast in stone, and it's obviously not. This property does have its challenges. You know, there's a lot of ravines, and there's a lot of cuts and fills that have to be done to put a building of that magnitude on a slab. Some of these buildings will be terraced into the landscape, along with the parking. And so, Alex, go to the next slide, please. This is another version that was done for us of what could look like, some proposals could look like. Up in the top right-hand corner, the building there is a 200,000 square foot building. The other one showed just a 100,000 square foot building. So just below the 200,000 square foot building, there's another piece the city owns, right where there, not that piece, Alex, but that piece there, and we own right down to Cott Street. And so, the only thing that we won't own is this block, I wanna say it's about a 5-acre block right there, Alex, not a little bit more. And that the city's also gonna consider, purchasing that as well, because by doing that, it gives us a significant other piece for a prospective buyer. And so, if you look at that, go back to that 5-acre piece, Alex, just right there. That piece is somewhat landlocked, because we're gonna own everything around it. There is access to the property through Cott Street, but yet there's a significant wetlands that's also down by Cott Street that would impact access to that property. So, anybody that, the owner of that property, if it wasn't us, would have to come to us to get access. And so, when I tell you that there is significant interest for the light industrial application, I just highlighted the 275,000 square foot user. There's a 2,000 square foot user, and there are two 100,000 square foot users that we're currently in negotiation right now. But all of this is really contingent upon the getting access to the property and getting the road constructed. And this is not going to be any small task, because there's a lot of topographical challenges associated with the site. But I think that at this point in time, the economic impact and the economic vitality for this type of a use and for this property is now there. It's now there. And so I wanted to familiarize the two commissions with this proposal, with the completion of Constitution Boulevard, with the fact that there will be development on the Moss property, with the fact that there's gonna have to be a zone change for this property, because the last time that the zone was changed was back in the mid-'80s. It was PDD number 1, that has currently lapsed. My thinking behind all of this is that the city would make application to do the zone change to LIP, or if there is another preferable zone, and I know that Fran Theodosio was supposed to be here today, couldn't make it, but he will be before the commission to talk about what the zone should be to accommodate these uses. These uses are all compatible with one another. All these users, they all have the same thing. They're all manufacturers. They want to consolidate their corporate offices, and they need to do their distribution from their manufactured product. So the whole area would be very consistent in that it would be for like a manufacturing corporate park, if you will. Manufacturing today is very different than what we were used to 50, 60 years ago down on Canal Street, along the Housatonic River, or anywhere in the northeast part of this country, for that matter. Where we made things, and it was very intense type of manufacturing, and as a result, many of our waterways became polluted. Things are being done very differently today, and I think that with the type of manufacturers that I'm going to be presenting to the city in the coming months, the people are going to be pretty impressed with who these people are and the type of products that they make. So there's a lot of considerations here. I wanted to get it on your minds so that there's an open dialogue. This map that you have in front of you right now, Alex, can you move it up just a bit here? The other one. You can see in the middle of the property there's a significant wetland piece. We kind of subdivided that out of the development area and left it alone as open space. There's going to have to be some wetlands mitigation that will need to be done on this site, and so that's going to require some outside expertise from the Wetlands Commission, and I want you to know that we're going to provide that. And so maybe if at some point in time the Wetlands Commission will start to workshop and prepare for the coming of this, and start to talk about what could go on the site, how some of these wetlands could be mitigated, and try to get ahead of the curve. Because many people don't understand that the hour is now. The economic cycle comes once every 10, 15 years. And if you miss it, you get left behind. Now, that's just the way it is. And when people are ready to put their oar in the water, we have to be ready as well. So, put quite a bit of information out there for you. I'll stop there. I'll entertain a few questions. Or, as I said, you can expect to see Fran and I back before these commissions in the very near future.
Mr. Mayor, the only question that came to mind is just an assurance for the residents that the access to these properties would continue to be the extension of Constitution Boulevard. There wouldn't be from Richford Avenue up to Shelton Avenue. There wouldn't be any connecting streets to the small streets that we have on either side of the neighborhood.
When at the onset, I referenced the drone flyover.
Mm-hmm.
So that people would be able to see how we've been able to meld residential neighborhoods along with this type of an application. And it's pretty telling. Everybody needs to take another look at that. And there is no plan to have anything in a city street other than Constitution Boulevard intersect into someone's private property, into someone's manufacturing facility.
Thank you. Anyone else on the zoning commission?
I have a question, Mark. I guess the first thing we'll have to do is go planning zoning, have a zone change to the light industrial. And I was concerned also about the impact on the residential areas surrounding the area which you just touched on. I think it would be good if we could all get another look at that drone flyover again. I know it was been a while since we looked at that, and then in the future, walk the property, get an idea of the wetlands impact as far as our commission is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, the drone flyover, it tells you a picture. I mean, it's pretty obvious about what some of the challenges would be, where the wetlands are, because it was done when the leaves were off the trees, so you have clear vision. And John, Cindy has it on her computer, so she can email that to you, and you can send it to all your commission members so that they can start to look at it. And I think that's really a good starting point.
Yeah, I would suggest that be done by Alex for the zoning commission as well.
I had some of these renderings made up because I wanted to give people a flavor for where buildings would or could go, subject to some type of movement, depending on what the challenges may be, with employee parking and truck traffic in and out of their properties for distribution, receiving and shipping, is a big part. And all this manufacturing is all enclosed, so there's no noise, on the perimeter. There's no movement around the perimeter other than traffic. And I dare say that they're not intense traffic issues because of employees coming and going all at once like you have with the corporate world. Some of these manufacturers do 2 and 3 shifts, so if they have 200 employees, it's spread over a 24-hour period of people coming and going, and it's a lot less intense.
Commissioner Wodomski has a question.
Commissioner Radomski, just hold on a minute. Commissioner Kelly started speaking.
I couldn't hear him.
That's fine. Go ahead, Commissioner Kelly.
Buildings, but they would have to be done tastefully and with unison with other buildings in the area. Architectural.
Can't hear him, Jenny.
Well, here's the mic.
The mic is not by
His comment was that any of the architectural features of the building had to be done tastefully so as to not create any type of a blight on the surrounding residential neighborhoods. Am I phrasing that right, Charlie?
You are right.
Okay. Well, again, I think that one needs just to take a ride around into these areas. Go up on Waterview Drive and see what's transpired up there. Go down Ivy Brook and see what's transpired there. See how we've been able to put these manufacturers, these buildings into the landscape up against residential neighborhoods and made it work.
Oh, no, I realize that. I mean, we just have to make sure it's done that way.
Are they gonna be selling these parcels individually, subdividing this property and selling parcels as you get customers?
That's where the trend is right now.
Okay. Commissioner Radowski, go ahead.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, the vision is great. I love it. This is what we were planning for when this whole plan came together decades ago. And I know at some point that road was supposed to go through. And I think you mentioned that in order to get federal funding, you cannot have a dead-end road. And I didn't quite hear because it was a little broken up, but are you planning to get the federal funding to bring this up to Shelton Avenue? Is that what I heard correctly?
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay. My next question would be, since we're going to try and get federal money for that, would it behoove us at the same time, I know this is putting the cart before the horse, but I'm looking further down the road, specifically for the traffic in Huntington Center with a lot of the construction that's going to be going on in there. At some point, I'm sure is going to happen. But would it behoove us at the same time to complete Constitution Boulevard North up to the 110 area, like it was originally envisioned, to reduce that traffic in the center? Would it be wise to lump all that together at the same time with this project?
I think that would be a little ambitious. You know, there's only so many resources out there, and for me, this is the priority. This is the biggest missing link in this road. This will accommodate much of what you talk about, in my opinion. You know, we had this discussion 20 years ago about completing it all right at the White Hills, but I think that if you can get to 108, you're certainly going to pick up a big portion of it, because people coming out of the White Hills area can pick up the northernmost portion of Constitution, and then again down at 108. So in my view, I think this is the single biggest impact that we can make at this point in time, is to connect this missing gap.
Okay.
Mayor, we talked about a consultant, as we did in Shelter Ridge. I think it would be a good idea if we could somehow get the go-ahead to move with the consultant, since there is significant wetlands, and a lot of it based on what we can do with the wetlands. The faster we can get someone on to look at it, the faster the project could move, both the road construction and the vision subdivision.
Yeah, as you remember, I said a moment ago that I think it's important. Now, if I was calling him at 9 o'clock at night, that would phone me off.
Automatically, but.
Bob, it's selective.
It's only 5:30.
I think it's important to workshop this, to start workshopping it and understanding the complexities of this piece. Let's not get into a situation like we did with Shelter Ridge. You know, this is also a 70-acre parcel, with significant, much more wetlands than what Shelter Ridge had on it. John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think.
In fact, John Cook for the Inland Wetland Commission, in the 1980s plans, there was actually an environmental study done in conjunction with that development, which the developers themselves identified the significance of some of the resources, not only on this piece, but as you continue on through. So, some of the identification and prioritizing is going to be an important facet.
You know, it's those wetlands features that really has attracted some of these corporate manufacturers to this site, because that big pond in the middle of the property is about 600 feet long and 250 to 300 feet wide. So that waterway right there, they envision walking trails through this area for these corporate manufacturers. So the people who are interested in these things at this site are real professionals, and they're name brands, national name brands. So, I'm not at liberty to tell you who they are right now, but, I think that I'm far enough down the road now that we need to have this discussion. And as I said, with the economic climate right now, that it's significant that we start to accelerate our activities. I'll give you another example that was before this commission, the zoning commission not too long ago, was Gary Plastics from the Bronx, New York, a 200,000 square foot manufacturer, not insignificant. So, and they're bringing a lot of jobs to this area.
Any other zoning commissioner have any questions? Mr. Wilson, I'll defer to you.
Bob, anybody?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that a lot of people in this room understand this property because you've been around for a while. You understand the concept of Constitution Boulevard and the extension of it. And so now we need to perfect it. So, Ken, I don't know if I answered your question, but absolutely, if the Wetlands Commission needs to engage in some professional outside services, then that's what we're gonna do. Okay, I think we're done for today, and, I thank you for your time, and you'll be seeing a little bit more of me in the coming months.
Very good.
All right.
Is there a motion to adjourn the planning and zoning portion of the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Commissioner Kelly, Commissioner Radamski, I'll take you as the second. On the motion to adjourn, roll call of planning and zoning, Commissioner Parkins?
Aye.
Commissioner Kelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Radamski?
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky?
Aye.
Commissioner Amato? Aye. And the chair votes aye. And go ahead, Mr. Kelly. Wilson?
I have a motion to adjourn the wetlands portion of this meeting.
So moved to adjourn.
Ken, do I have a second? Michelle, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
Our motions to adjourn have passed, and the meeting is adjourned as of 5:35 p.m.
And the good news is